What up, Bulls Nation? We've got a live CHGO Bulls podcast coming up for y'all right around the corner. Today's show, more interviews from the Bulls' top prospects here in Chicago from the NBA Draft Combine. Plus, we're going to catch up with our pal, Marc Stein, next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to the CHGO Bulls podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave. Bam! BNWL Sports, Will to go Gottlieb. Perfectly coiffed. Will_Gottlieb. And Queen of the Controls back with us, Katie. What up, Katie?
Hi.
Wow.
Okay.
That's how you want to start things, Katie?
It's been a really long day already.
First of all, what's going on behind us, though, in these windows?
Yeah, those guys have been there all day.
I just noticed
He's fanning himself.
Yeah, they've been
with his hat.
They've been in all of our shows today.
Oh, for real?
Hi.
Yeah.
Have we spoken to them?
No, I don't
Do a
think they
little
can
work on
see
the
us.
roof?
Oh, they
So
can't
it-
see us through this?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I just thought he was rude for a second. He didn't wave back. All right,
no
y'all.
shirtless wonder, sir.
So today's show, we are going to be diving into more interviews from some of those top prospects, lottery prospects that we've heard from in the NBA Draft Combine taking place here in Chicago over this week. And let's dive right in because we got a lot to pack in today, plus a chat with our guy, Marc Stein. So let us first start with a name the Bulls fans have been talking about a lot over the last few weeks, and that is Collin Murray-Boyles. Y'all had a chance to chat with him a little bit. Yesterday, he was talking about, I think, asking a question from our pal Ricky O'Donnell, actually, how he sees his physicality, the way he plays, and his frame translating to what we're all watching right now, which are very physical NBA playoff games in all of these series across the board. Katie, if you will, Collin Murray-Boyles.
The NBA game is so much more physical in the playoffs. I feel like your game sort of fits into the style of play in the postseason. You know, how do you think your game fits to like those high leverage situations in the NBA?
I feel like, well, like any rookie, you're not going to get 100%. You're not going to come in and, be the guy, or you're not going to come in and be like you're on the same page. It's going to be an adjustment. And I feel like with my strength and my ability to adapt has been proven throughout all of high school and in college. So just the ability to adapt is really going to push me to the next level in my basketball attributes.
How would you describe your defensive strengths and instincts on that end? I mean, it just seems like you're always a step ahead of the play. Has that always been just like the way you see the game, or how do you work on that? What's been kind of your process there?
To be honest, it's just been a part of me. Watching more film, learning what people are going to do, just knowing what my opponents are doing is really important, especially when it comes to defense, because knowing tendencies is very big, and just that's finding a way to stand out to people. And on the defensive end, showing my IQ on that side of the floor is very important, especially on just guarding everybody, guarding 1 through 5, knowing the tendencies, knowing when to body up somebody or when not to, just knowing little things like that is really important.
That was Collin Murray-Boyles, prospect projected to go somewhere first round, perhaps on the board at 12 where the Bulls are slotted to pick. What did you make of his answer, Go, when you asked him about sort of his defensive identity? As we all know, the Bulls could be looking to add some defensive help with this offense-first team they have right now.
I liked when he expressed that, yes, he has those defensive instincts. That's always been a part of who he is. And we've talked a lot about his obviously shorter 6'6.5", but long wingspan, and just incredible mind for the game. And so I liked that he acknowledged that that's a part of who he is, but also alluding to the fact that game planning and preparation is really important. And so when you put that together, that's how you know a guy is going to be successful in the NBA, when he has the instincts and the natural ability, but is also a worker and not just like in the gym lifting, doing the verticals, getting your shots up, but like studying the games, preparing for game plans, preparing for your opponent. That was a really impressive answer for me. And he was one of the just more well-spoken, polished interviews that we talked to, Dave, at the Combine interviews yesterday.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head, Will. Like, he has controlled confidence. Like, I like guys, that are more brash, with their confidence, maybe more like an Anthony Edwards, like those kind of insane kind of guys. But he has that kind of Tim Duncan controlled confidence in his game. And that's why he let out a little bit. Like, yeah, I've been doing this in high school. I did this in college, like I know I can adapt. And as you said, Will, like there's work and then there's a reason why you work. Like, we know you need to, get your shots up and stuff like that, but what type of shots are you taking? Where are you taking them from? Why are you taking these shots? Like it feels like he thinks of all these things and he's very cerebral, in his game, which is very good because sometimes overthinking can be bad. But when you have a lot of logic in what you're doing and it's not affecting your confidence, it's a really great thing. So he's a young man that feels like he can work and get to that level and still use the tools that he's had, as he said, since high school to continue to elevate his game.
Drew's in the comments saying, curious what he says about his shooting. He did touch on that before the segment of that interview that we just played for y'all when he was asked, what are you working on most aggressively right now as you're in this transition from your college career to getting drafted into the NBA? I think he knows and is perfectly aware that is one of the questions about him as an NBA talent and prospect right now, because it's not something that he showed that he could do regularly is, be a floor spacer. Most of his scoring came inside. And I think it's why maybe some Bulls fans are a little hesitant to really be enamored with the idea of drafting him at 12. We know that this team could use some help defensively, especially in the front court. If Kobe and Josh is the backcourt you're going to rock with for the foreseeable future, it's just a matter of how much do you value what he can be on the defensive end. And I feel like some people think he needs to really reach this Draymond Green comp to validate being drafted as high as some people see him being drafted.
Yeah, he just needs to reach what he feels, and his level of greatness. Like I said last time, man, like I don't like comparisons to guys who are one of one. I don't like comparisons to Jordan, to Bird, to Magic, to LeBron, to Draymond Green, to Dennis Rodman. Like, I don't like comparisons to those guys because you can't do what those guys do. You know what I mean? Like, they're special in their own kind of way. So I don't think he has to reach what Draymond Green has reached to be a really good basketball player, or to even be a great one. He has to just continue what he's been doing. Sure, there's some Draymond things that he could probably add to his game. You know what I'm saying? Maybe on the mental side, maybe on the physical side. But in general, what do you bring to the game? I'm not drafting Draymond Green. You know what I mean? I'm drafting Collin Murray-Boyles. Like, what do you bring? You are a better shooter and a better scorer than Draymond Green. Like that can obviously take care of what he might not live up to in people's minds defensively. Well, you're not going to trip on that if you're putting up 17 and 8. You're going to be okay with that. You're going to say, oh, okay, well, the average defense is fine. So even a comparison like a Julius Randle or somebody, I wouldn't be mad at, for him with a little better defense. If he can reach that potential, dude, like, you are a legit NBA star.
And Randle, I think, is a good comp. He's one of the guys that I listed on our draft guide. Offensively, I think there's a lot of similarities there, from being very left-handed dominant to having that bully ball face-up game. Yeah. But I do think his defensive ceiling is much higher. The question is, and maybe it doesn't need to be quite Draymond's level. I mean, he was a defensive player of the year. He's been one of the best defenders of this generation of basketball. He changed the game, being able to switch from, centers onto point guards in the NBA Finals. Like, that was completely unique one-of-one stuff, to your point, Dave. So I don't think he needs to get to quite that level in order to be successful defensively. My questions are more on the offensive end. In the spot-up shooting, he made only 7 of 25 threes. That's the second lowest number of any player at the Combine. So,
you're talking about his Combine drill just this week? Those 7 of 25? Okay.
Yep. He was 22 of 30 off the dribble, which was pretty good, and 10 of 25 on the three-point star drill, which was okay, not great. I think he's a shaky shooter. I think he's got a lot of work to do on that. He's a smart enough guy that he knows what he needs to work on, and I do think shooting is one of the things that you can improve on. But that concerns me. If you are bringing a player who is not going to be very ball dominant, but also can't shoot, how does that fit into the offense? I think the Bulls, if you're trying to plug him into this specific circumstance or context, it's a little bit easier because of the pace that they play. And I think he can grab and go, get the ball up ahead, make plays off the dribble in transition or trailing the play, getting into dribble handoff things. He's capable of doing a lot of that stuff, which I find interesting. And again, I mocked him to the Bulls in our most recent mock. I do like him a lot, but that shooting is a concern for me. And I think it's a big red flag, or it should be for a lot of these teams in that, high back end of the lottery.
He's definitely at the combine was the guy I watched the most, especially on those drills Will is talking about. I watched every one of his drills because I was really focused just on him. And no, he didn't shoot well. He didn't look comfortable, coming off of curl, and taking a shot. He didn't look comfortable when they were going back, tagging the hand of the coach and coming back and shooting. He didn't look comfortable on that either. He didn't look comfortable on the spot up. You know what I mean? Like, he just didn't look comfortable. But what I did see was his shooting form, which I thought was really good. It reminded me of Derik Queen, watching him shoot, his shooting form. So I know there's something there, for him. Maybe it's just a bad drill. I mean, it's the combine. Guys might put up bad stuff. But I agree with Will. It was a little concerning that, it just wasn't falling for him.
Especially because, these are wide open 1-on-0 drills. It's not like there's a lot of guys watching. The pressure is there for sure. But, these are the ones you're supposed to knock down.
Yeah, true.
And he didn't do it.
He also, as you note in your Die Hard Draft Guide, GOAT, check it out, y'all. Become a Die Hard if you aren't yet so you can get access to it. All of these players we're going to be talking about over the next month. Lots of detail. He only took 5 threes his freshman year, and he was 0-5. Sophomore season, volume went up. He was 9 of 34 his sophomore year behind the arc, 26.5%, and just a 70% free throw shooter. So
the volume is just so low that it's hard to really make anything of it.
Hard to gauge
other
exactly
than that he's not comfortable shooting.
Yeah. Right. And people make fun of, the Draymond wearing a backpack 3-point, form that he we've also seen Draymond knock down big threes in big moments in Warriors dynasty run, playoff games and series. Like
Game 7.
If you can do a lot of other things really well and then at least be respectable enough to, if the defense is going to leave you open, if you're, roaming the perimeter instead of what Draymond does a lot, which is sort of initiate different offensive sets, from the elbow position or, from the top, be dangerous enough that if they leave you open, you can knock more down than none down.
That's all you want out of a guy like that is, dude, if you're wide open, take the shot and make more than you miss. Even if it's, 4 of 10, you're completely going crazy if he shoots 40%.
I think that's true. You do have to make the shots when you're open, but I think the piece there that goes a little underrated is the fact that the spacing is still super clogged up now. Because if you're being left open, that means you're playing 4-on-5.
Okay.
And so now those driving lanes aren't open. And if you've got Giddey out there too, and let's say Kobe's got the ball, you're playing with 2 non-shooters.
How dare you? Did you see Josh Giddey's hot streak behind the arc down the stretch of this season?
So fine, you throw him to Giddey and maybe he hits one, or maybe Collin Murray-Boyles hits one, but Kobe can't drive to the lane and draw 2 to the ball.
Yeah.
If there's 2 extra defenders down there. So I do think that is something that needs to be considered. Again, I do think he can improve. Any player can when you're that young and when you haven't really worked on it every day as a professional.
Sure.
I do think there's plenty of room for improvement. I think that's possible, but it's a consideration. And this Bulls team wants to play fast and get up threes. So you do have to think about, if this was a situation where they're tearing it down to the studs and you just want to get talent in there, which again, we can agree or disagree with that being the right choice.
It's a nice way to say it.
If that was the case, I think it's an easier sell. But for the core that you're playing in, I do think that there are questions there. Even though, again, I picked him to the Bulls. I think he'd be a great fit. Just you have questions.
I think it'd be cool.
Definitely in his interviews, sounds like a player who's very self-aware of his game. What his strengths are, what his weaknesses are.
Correct.
Which is nice to hear because, listening to a lot of these interviews over the last couple of days, some of these guys, I'm like, you're still, they just sound young and not.
And that is not your jam. Right?
No. Young people suck. Let's take a break. Not you, Emma. You're lovely. We'll knock out a couple of ads. We'll come back on the other side. More interviews from the Combine this week, including Kaman Malawatch and Derik Queen, who I just saw in the comments. People talking about, not them hanging out in our comments. Today's show brought to you by Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. What is Sunnyside? It's your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. A place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. They have everything you need to help elevate your summer. It is 80 degrees in Chicago today.
It is.
Summer is here.
Here.
The Gams are out. The Burks are out. Just waiting for Summer Goat to fully join the crew.
He's got no flannel on, man. You know what I mean? He told you.
True. He's shedding layers.
He told you, yeah. Once he sheds
But
layers.
I'm waiting for my Burks
I
brother
will say this.
to make an appearance.
I will say this. I was close today. It is hot. It is hot.
I mean, how much warmer do you need it to be?
He's got a point.
As soon as it got above 50, I was like, Burks.
I did basically go from house to car to office, so it didn't feel like I was.
You know, you can squeeze between car and office and house.
Tell him.
Just stop at Sunnyside.
Yeah.
Your one-stop shop for all of your cannabis needs. They've got an expertly curated menu with over 100 strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. If you're just starting out, they're great and well-informed staff can help you make selections from all of their great different brands like Good News and Mindy's, Floracal and Cresco. Even if you're a pro, they probably have a tip or two for you of something you haven't tried yet with, again, over 100 different strains, new strains added to the menu daily. Check out the Wellness Advisors Staff Picks collection. Visit Sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Just use that promo code HICHGO when you check out to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 and older and Illinois MedCard holders.
Rate.com. If you've ever tried to buy a home, get a loan. That rhymed. Or just deal with money stuff in general, you know it can be a lot. That's why we got to tell you about the Rate app. And it's seriously, ladies and gentlemen, a game changer. You get a pre-approved for a mortgage in minutes without the need to jump through millions of hoops or thousands of hoops or even hundreds of hoops. No hoops allowed, except when we talk about it on this show.
No hoops for you.
No hoops for you. No hoops for you. And if you're thinking about a home equity loan or a personal loan, you can secure one in under 15 days, which is honestly really impressive. The Rate app also helps you find the best homeowners and auto insurance based on what you actually need. Yes. The whole thing is powered by AI. It's the only time Matt likes AI. So it's smart and it saves you time and money. And that's the only reason he likes it in this instance. In other instances, shaking the fist. And something that is an unexpected bonus, they have added over 800 free wellness videos, stuff like meditation, breathing exercises, stretching, basic tools to help you feel better mentally and physically, so your body's straight along with your brain and your mind too. So if you're stressed out about a loan or your mortgage, seriously, just let the Rate app handle it. And once it's covered, you can hit one of those free wellness videos and chill out. Just go ahead and download the Rate app today to get started. You see it on your screen, put your phone up to it, scan it, go there, click it, start saving, start feeling better with the Rate app.
Boom, boom. Our next segment is brought to you by our friends at Four Seasons. Your trusted local experts at Four Seasons. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. They like to call this one Taking the Temp. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their specific offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
Right reasons.
Taking the temp on Kaman Malawatch and what he had to say at NBA Draft Combine interview. He talked about, and you asked him, Goats, like, do you think there are certain parts of your game, certain skill sets that you weren't able to showcase as much because of the role you played on that very talented and very deep Duke team? And here, Katie, was his answer. Katie, it's okay.
Are there things that you weren't able to show at Duke that you feel you have in your game that maybe can come out more in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, because I still have a lot to work on. I have a lot of development, so I believe there's a lot like I haven't shown yet, and a lot I will develop in the NBA.
What are some of those things?
I mean, it's a lot of different stuff, whether it's the defensive positioning or being able to switch more, or maybe getting a couple more shots, or maybe generating offense, or maybe playing in the short roll or pick and pop.
Cooper said he described you as kind of a very selfless person. Very nice thing as a teammate to say, I guess. What do you think he's meaning by that? describe you as very selfless and pure were the two words that came to mind.
Man, it probably means I'm a great guy, I'm a good teammate, and a fun guy to be around.
That's good.
Have you talked with the Bulls, Kaman?
Thank you very much.
I've talked to a couple of teams, and I'll talk to more teams tomorrow.
When you think of a situation like the Bulls, so might be looking for a big guy, what do you think your biggest instant impact element is that you're going to bring to the team?
Just like every other team I would go to, as I say, it don't matter where I go. Just like every other team I'll go to, I'll bring my defensive instincts on the team and being able to anchor the defense.
There is Kaman Malawatch, projected to go top 10. I guess there's a chance, and that's why we keep talking about him. Now that we know the Bulls are slotted 12th, he could fall. Heck, Modest fell to 11 inexplicably last year.
Thank you.
But so, yeah, you hear him talking about maybe some of the things he didn't get to showcase as much. And then obviously the answer to the second question of what can you contribute right away? What impact can you make right away? And, he was very confident in his answer, which is being a defensive anchor. And I think that's one thing that some NBA teams are sort of drooling over is like, hey, we can work. We know he's a raw talent. This guy, very fascinating story. He talked earlier in that Combine interview, the background, South Sudan, sort of like playing basketball, discovering basketball later in his life, in the grand scheme of things for somebody who's still only not even 19 years old, but that defense first, will work on the offense as we go.
Yeah, it gets you on the floor immediately. And it's great because usually when guys are, you don't know what they can really do and, they got a lot of stuff they could work on, but, they're high-end kind of picks. If you know that you are a defender and you can get on that floor and do that, then the coach doesn't have to worry about certain situations that he's putting you in. The situation is you go defend. That's the situation. You don't have to worry about if he knows the scheme, if he knows how to come off this pick, or if he's going to hit this shot or anything like that. No, bro. Defense. Thank you. Get in there. Second, third, fourth, first quarter. It doesn't matter. You get into the game because you can play that defense. And I love how he talked about it. I thought that was when his confidence really started coming out. And his assuredness in himself and his game is when he started talking about defense and how he said, I can anchor the defense. Like saying stuff like that is huge stuff. He's like, no, I ain't trying to be a piece. I can lock all this down. And so that is a beautiful thing to say from such a young guy. So knowing that he has that in his game and knowing that he knows he has stuff to work on, he will be on the floor. And it's probably why these teams are so tantalized by his talents.
Yeah, I think he said, I can't remember exactly what age, but I believe he said he started playing basketball at 14.
So
he
said
South Sudan is the land of tall people. So
it is a fact.
He had to.
That is a fact.
He just kind of felt like he had to start playing. And I think that's why there is that curiosity of like, what more can he do? Yeah. He showed some shooting ability, not just like off the catch, but also some post fades, some post moves, shot creation. And like, if he's only been playing for 5 years and there's like a little bit of that in there, I think people are always kind of thinking Joel Embiid and like, can he develop in that way? And again, we're talking about one-of-one generational players. Sure. He's probably not going to get to that level, but I mean, if he can space it out and walk into a trail three, or if he can do a pick and pop and pull the opposing big away from the basket that way, that's super valuable because he finished, I think it was 77% of his shots at the rim. So he's going to be dominant down there. He's a great lob catcher. He's a great lob threat, but he's also just got a soft touch and can finish around the rim. His feel is not quite there yet, and I think that makes sense given the fact that he's only been playing for a few years. But he is a very unique prospect, and you could tell he was very well coached up in the dark arts of PR when multiple people asked him, which teams did you interview with? And everybody else was just telling us, and he was like, I met with some teams, and I'll meet with some more teams. What would you bring to the Bulls? Same thing I would bring to every other team. Like he was very polished, and I think that speaks to one, the fact that he's had good training from Clutch, but also that he's just a smart guy and he knows how to handle those situations. And for me, watching players, evaluating talent, IQ is really important to me. If you're a smart player, if that comes out and it shows itself on the court or in the way that you speak or in the way that you prepare for the game, same thing with CMB, game planning, like that really matters to me. So I agree with you, Matt. I think he'll probably be gone by the time the Bulls are picking, but maybe there's a trade up. Maybe he slips a little bit to the 8, 9, 10 range and the Bulls can make a move to jump up a little bit and go get him. There's also an issue. I don't know the exact details of it, so I don't want to like place too much of an issue on it. But like, there is a potential for some visa issues with people from South Sudan.
Yeah, I heard earlier in that interview somebody was asking him about it.
And he said like it'll be fine. My agency will deal with it. But like that Toronto is a team that is rumored to be interested in him, and going in and out of Toronto to the United States to play games could be an issue. We don't know that, but that could be a reason why they pass on him. And maybe that's why he's available at 8-9, and that's why the Bulls are able to go up and trade for him. So I don't think it's impossible, but I do think it's unlikely that he makes it to the Bulls. But I mean, yeah, if he can shoot it and continues to learn the game, defend the rim the way that he has been, impact the game around the rim in terms of vertical spacing, like he's gonna be a player.
That's all I was thinking was Toronto the whole entire time.
Yeah. Did you guys see that report? The Hawks are trying to like steal Masai Ujiri away from Toronto.
Really, I didn't see this.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Stein.
Good for them.
Stein tweeted it yesterday. I was like,
Maybe we can ask him.
Can they do that? But yeah, so going back to the defensive anchor part, you got some great stats here in the draft guide. People have been talking about his low block rate that you mentioned, but maybe some of that is a little bit fluky because you also point out that his Duke opponents, when Malawatch was there being the primary rim protector, shot just 45.3% at the rim when contested and defended by Malawatch. Also, he only allowed 1 out of every 3 dunk attempts by opponents this past season, compared to the incredible conversion rate that Ko was talking about around the rim himself. 77.6% shots made at and around the rim. Also, hilarious stat here. He had 80 dunks in 39 games. 7th most in a season by a freshman college player since they started tracking dunks in 2008.
That's impressive.
Patrick Williams is jealously rolling in his grave at the thought of that.
What's a dunk?
What's a dunk, guys? I don't understand. But so, yes, the 6.8 block percentage, that block rate is low compared to Klingon had an 11.5. Right. Chet Holmgren, 12.6. Mark Williams, 11.5. But if you're still deterring shots the way that Malawatch was, that is, as I think, like block or no block, deter shot, protect the rim in a way the Bulls fans haven't seen in a while.
It's what speaks to his IQ for me. Like to be a guy, you see a 7'2" guy, you immediately are thinking, oh man, he's blocking every shot in there. No, what he's doing is locking everything down. He's the guy that is exactly what he says he is. I can be a defensive anchor for your team. That just for me speaks to your IQ. That means you know the scheme. That means you know what's going on, and you know how to do it without fouling. Because usually shot blockers are guys who you can get them on a pump fake. You know what I mean? And then they're going to the foul. Like main man Daniel Gafford is like that. Like he is a shot blocker extraordinaire, but you can definitely get him on a pump fake because he is trying to block every single thing, which leads to fouls. But this guy knows how to stay in the game within the flow of it, and to not let you get him off his feet. It just says a lot about a guy who is that tall and that long to be that smart at it when he's playing defense. It just really makes him a true specimen and why teams are really salivating over him.
True specimen. Did you mean trade candidate? Daniel Gafford, is that who you're referring to? All right. Now let's hear from the guy that often gets mentioned right there alongside Malawatch as 2 of the bigs projected to maybe go top 10. Maybe the Bulls get lucky and one of them falls to 12. That is Derik Queen, who had himself a pretty big tourney earlier this spring. Katie, cue up Mr. Queen, if you will.
Who do you model your game after?
A little bit of Jokic. Like I watch a lot of different people. Like Jokic, I watch AD. I try to not focus on mainly one player, but trying to take pieces from a lot of people game.
Derik, how much do you think that those practices in Montford helped you going against Cooper and Newell and McNeely and all those other guys? You got 4 lottery picks maybe just on your high school team.
It's been great. It's been fun. Like you said, they all might be lottery. So me just playing against them, showing them how good they were and just how better they playing and stuff. Just getting ready at it for an early age that everybody doesn't get.
Do you see yourself in the next level as a 4 or a 5?
I don't know. It depends on the situation, the game. But I feel like I can play either or, 4 or 5.
That's Derik Queen saying he can play 4 or 5 in the NBA. Bulls fans, we talked about that a lot, those who like his skill set. Also, can't help but notice that he mentioned Joker when he was asked who he models his game after.
He did.
Let's put a pin in that, and then we'll knock out a couple ads when we come back. More Combine talk, and we will be joined by the one and only Marc Stein. Hit the like button for crying out loud. Katie's asking you to do it. Just do it.
Save yourself.
Today's show brought to you by Circus Sportsbook. Whatever the moment, the app to bet is Circus Sports Illinois. Circus Sports is sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low hold, and exceptional customer service, featuring real human beings, which are oh so rare when it comes to customer service these days. I need it. I want it. Give me a human to talk to. Circa says, here are humans. And I say, thanks, Circa.
Thank you, sir.
Bet on all your favorite teams in every game, including playoff game. This season, we've got a do or die game 6 in the series of all series. Thunder Nuggets tonight. Can't wait.
Nuggets.
Can't wait. And I'm going to be getting some bets in for that one. You know it. Spreads, props, futures, even in-game betting. Circus Sports has it all for you. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 and older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's hot. All right. The heat is here.
It is.
All right. I'm on 2 showers already. I took an ice cold one. It didn't matter. Still walked out sweating. Went back in and had to get another one in.
You're just
there,
taking
man.
the ice bucket challenge.
Oh, I'm on it.
6 times a day.
6 times a day. This is my life. Air conditioning, I love it. You saving my life. And if you need your air conditioning right, 4 Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric is who you should be rocking with. And they have been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. Now is the time to get your air conditioning checked out. And 4 Seasons experts are ready to help you with your AC installation, maintenance, and your repair. Now, 2024 was officially Chicago's hottest year on record. The heat index was a ridiculous 114 degrees. Why? Oh, my Lord. When it's hot and humid, you want to know that your home will be cool and comfortable. 4 Seasons expert technicians ensure you will always receive reliable service, and 4 Seasons doesn't charge more for service during nights, weekends, and holidays. Schedule your first 4 Seasons AC tune-up today. Save $50 and enjoy a 1-year no breakdown guarantee. Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Your trusted local experts are 4 Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit 4 Seasons Heating, Cooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's 4 Seasons Heating, Cooling.com. Because for all the right reasons, back.
Call 866-4-SEASON.
Oh, summer ready. Woo, it's hot.
Katie, do we have a Stein on the line? Hit him up. Joining us now,
there you go,
our guy, the one and only longtime NBA reporter. Read his Substack, subscribe to it that he does with the People's Insider, Jake Fisher. You can also, of course, catch him regularly on that DLLS Mavs podcast crew, who are all pretty excited about that lottery result from Monday night. It is our guy, the one and only Marc Stein. Follow him on Twitter at the Stein Line. Marc, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back.
Best ad reads in the network. I don't even know if there's a second place. I really hope like none of my superiors at DLS see what you guys do, because, man, impressive. Great energy, great energy, great. You guys are bringing it.
Appreciate that, Marc.
That's all we have, because we have to talk about the Bulls every day. So, Stein, before we get your thoughts on, I'm sure, your version of the craziness from Monday night, before you joined us, we were just talking about some of these combine interviews from here in Chicago. A couple of guys the Bulls fans are hoping somehow fall to 12. A couple of the big guys, Malawatch from Duke, Derik Queen. Among the people you've been talking to this week, is there a name or a couple of names that keep getting thrown at your ears of like, wow, this name is flying up people's draft boards right now?
I must confess, please do not be mad at me, but I am not the draft maven that you guys need to answer that question. I'm just
curious. You just talk to a lot of people.
I do talk to a lot of people, but when the draft rolls around, a big reason why I asked Jake Fisher to become a twice-a-week contributor to the Stein Line. He's in Chicago right now. He is a true draft expert, and I'm not. I'm just being as real with you guys as I can. I'm chasing the trades, the vets who might be on the move, getting ready for free agency. And I have to say that the unspeakably good fortune that the Mavericks had Monday night makes my job easier because I know who they're taking number one, and I think my draft prep is pretty much over. So I know I am letting you guys down, but I'm gonna have to let the GOAT Gottlieb track give you a better read on who might be available in the lower reaches of the lottery. I'm sorry. I profusely apologize.
So you're saying your sources here in Chicago on the ground aren't talking to you every hour of every day about the Mavs trading the number one pick? Come on, Mark.
And the other thing is, I don't know that anyone knows what the Bulls' range of the draft is going to look like on May 15th, which I know is yet another dagger. I actually thought you guys were going to lead off with, I did that essay last week where I talked about, in the All-City Network, 5 NBA teams. 4 of these teams ended up in the lottery. Phoenix's season got so messed up that all they could do is hate watch the lottery as their pick had to be conveyed to Houston via Brooklyn. But I actually thought that the CHGO team would be smiling the broadest. The lottery, after all, it's a home game for you guys. And oh, how wrong I was. I will take all the blame. I jinxed you guys. I will take all the blame. I certainly never... I mean, honestly, when we did a live show Monday night, which I'm sure you guys did as well, I wasn't even prepared to talk about Cooper Flagg. It never dawned on me that the Mavericks had a chance with a 1.8% shot at the number one pick to win the thing, and they did.
What about, because you mentioned the 1.8, obviously Bulls had 1.7, and it was very close. There was the coin flip. There's been some like curse the coin flip talk from what I was hearing at the combine. Has there been anything on that from Mavs people that you've talked to of like, thank God they won the coin flip?
I mean, on our show, we hear every day, it was rigged. It was rigged. It was rigged. They rigged the coin flip. They rigged the injuries that sent the Mavericks tumbling into the lottery. I mean, that talk, of course, it's all being talked about. It's all still being talked about. And I know that nothing's going to change it. Nothing I can say will probably dissuade your opinion from, if you think that this was some sort of setup. I know there's nothing I can say to change your mind, but I mean, look, there are only 4 teams in NBA history that have won this thing with less than a 2% shot at the top pick. And the Bulls are on that list in the Derrick Rose lottery. Amazingly, the other 2 times it happened, 1993 Orlando, 2014 Cleveland, the number one pick was traded in both of those instances. But I'm going to go out on a pretty sturdy limb here and tell you guys the Mavericks will not be trading number one. They are taking Cooper Flagg. They know how ridiculously fortunate they are.
Yeah, well, when you talked about it being a home game, just please remember the play-in was also a home game for the Bulls. You saw how that turned out. Yeah, but I wanted to ask you about these trades because I see that Dallas keeps coming up and they keep talking about the need for a point guard for your team. So obviously Bulls fans immediately are like thinking Kobe White, they're thinking Lonzo Ball. Do you think any of those guys are, in the sights of the Dallas Mavericks to probably make a trade with the Bulls?
I think the Mavs are on the...
Oh, that's tough.
Oh, all right.
My apologies. I didn't
if you
silence.
Just ain't like my question, Mark. It's all right.
No. That's my issue on my end. My apologies.
Guess that limb wasn't as sturdy as we thought.
The Mavs are definitely on that list of teams that are fans of Kobe White. But look, I think we've talked about it every time I've joined you guys since probably before the deadline. The Bulls have been swatting away that interest. Now, does that continue? Do the Bulls continue to rebuff all inquiries for Kobe White? That's not a read that I can make with clarity on May 15th. I still have to do more reporting there to figure it out. I think the phone will keep ringing. I think teams want Kobe White. Are the Bulls... Again, I need more time to know, like, are they willing to field offers on him or not? Now, when it comes to Lonzo Ball, when they gave him that contract extension, it was with the intention that he would stay there. They love kind of the veteran leadership and the way he fits in that locker room. But let's also not kid ourselves. That contract is very tradable. It's structured in a way to be tradable. And so I have to think that the phone's going to ring with offers for Lonzo Ball as well. So if you're asking me to tell you exactly how the Bulls will play it, I think you'll understand when I tell you I'm not smart enough to make a rock solid take it to the bank prediction there. But I think it is safe to say the Bulls are going to keep coming up in these trade scenarios, and we're just going to have to see how it plays out. I mean, I think based on the way the season finished, they like how Kobe White and Josh Giddey meshed as a backcourt and that they would want to keep the two of them together. But if the trade offers get good enough, I mean, they owe it to themselves to listen. And I mean, what would you guys do?
I mean, trade everybody, but that's a different thing. Everybody but Modest can go, but I'm a different beast on that.
Wait. The only untouchable is my guy 14.
I didn't even say the word untouchable, but he's the one that I would definitely be like, no, man, we got to have a real talk about this one right here. But
double stamp.
Yeah, everything else, like, yeah, we can work something out. You know what I mean?
So all right, so I just put the magic wand in your guys' hands. What do you want for Kobe White? What is a reasonable price? What is a fair return that would make you say, okay, we are willing to trade Kobe White? I don't know that the Mavs would have enough.
I mean, not that AK seems interested ever, but draft capital. And I mean, the other thing we saw a report of earlier this week is that Daniel Gafford is a potential trade candidate with everything going on. I know that one of the first things this Bulls front office of AK and Eversley did. Wait, no, did Gafford get traded before them?
No, he was traded in the Vooch trade.
Sure was.
Yeah. That was a Vooch trade.
Yeah.
So, can we get a Daniel Gafford back in Chicago? Is that doable?
I think it's doable. I mean, so Daniel Gafford and how much trade compensation?
I mean, whatever the Mavs are willing to offer initially, because AK will not hold. Yeah, I don't know. AK doesn't even want draft picks, so just whatever you're willing to give us.
So it's hard for him to use logic.
So you're saying the Mavs can call and say, "Hey, we saw you do Caruso and Giddey. We saw you guys do that trade with no picks involved. So just Gafford." I mean, the math isn't exactly right, but a Gafford-centric offer. No, come on, let's not even joke around. I mean, obviously, Kobe White, there would be a number of teams interested. So
I think the thing with the Bulls is like, I think last year at the deadline would have been the time to trade Kobe. Now, with the way the extension rules work, he's not going to take what the maximum allowable extension is. And so he's going to end up being a free agent. He will hit free agency unrestricted. And so if you're trading for him, you only get him for 1 year and you need to have cap space, which a lot of teams aren't set up that way. So to me, I just don't think you're going to be able to get as much for Kobe as he's worth, because it's funny, like his contract is so good that it's actually like bad now, in the sense that like it's easily movable. Maybe a team who's like really up against the tax that needs like value scoring at that position would give you something, but it's just, you can't really plan for him long term because you know he's getting to unrestricted free agency. I would say, Mark, though, that the player, like there is kind of this notion that, okay, Nico Harrison traded Luka because he didn't play defense or whatever it was, and he was more focused on the short-term success than the long-term. Obviously, I don't think Cooper is going anywhere, but is there another younger player like a Gafford that the Bulls could maybe pick off? To me, Lively is the guy. Like, is that somebody that would be movable, whether it's for draft picks or maybe that's a Kobe deal? Like, that's where I would feel more excited about, because like they traded away Gafford, and I don't think they're very interested in run and jump rim protectors.
Yeah.
But Lively has the shooting potential and I think the switchability where he is a little bit more interesting to me.
Well, in all honesty, it's hard to gauge exactly how the Mavs kind of rank their own big men. Because look, Lively last season was so good as a rookie. He was the present and the future. This season, he had injury issues. He wasn't the same player when he came back late in the season. Now, was that due to the injuries and the struggles coming back from it? How much was it that he was no longer playing with Luka? I mean, you heard Cooper Flagg speak to the media in Chicago. The first name he mentioned was Derik Lively. So I think knowing that Cooper Flagg wants to play with Derik Lively, the Mavs have to factor that in as well. But also I have to say, kind of my read from 1,000+ miles away, I just got the feeling that the Bulls feel like White and Giddey, that's kind of where their team starts now. So my instinct is it's going to take a fair bit to pry Kobe White away. Because again, it's more of a read than a firm declaration. I need to try to do more reporting to be sure here. But like I said, my kind of sense is I really think they want to keep that backcourt together. So how open are the Bulls going to be to these discussions? It's the right question.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm saying, like, I absolutely agree, because I guess the reason I'm curious about the Mavs is because even if you want to keep all your guys, like, only so many of them can play in the front court at a time. Like, Cooper is really a 4. You've got AD who wants to play 4. You've got 2 centers, and the Bulls have a bunch of point guards. But to me, I agree with what you're saying, Mark. Like, they want to keep Kobe and Giddey together. That's the core moving forward. And so you're going to have to blow them away. And even then, I'm not sure that they would move off of them because they're into what they're building. So that's kind of where I was coming from with the Lively thing.
And from the Dallas perspective, I think it's more likely that they make Gafford available, and it's more likely that they make PJ Washington available in addition to draft compensation before Lively. But even that is, like I said, it's not clear. This is such a sudden and unexpected development in Dallas for them to this is a franchise that had never moved up in the lottery. In 16 previous lottery trips, the Mavs stayed put 9 times, moved lower than their projected slot in the draft 7 times. So they're still in shock and figuring out next steps. But I think you're right. I think we're going to keep hearing Dallas and Chicago as potential trade partners. Whether we actually see action, we're going to have to see how this next month plays out.
One more quick one on the lottery stuff. I know do we have time before we go to break?
Yeah.
Just like, what was Nico Harrison's response to winning the lottery? Was there any like puffing his chest out? I was right about this whole thing, and you could add Cooper to the package that they sold Luka for?
No, there's still you're not getting any public commentary from the Mavericks front office at this point. Nico Harrison, they sent Rolando Blackman to represent the team on stage. They had Matt Riccardi, their assistant GM, in the drawing room. So Nico Harrison wasn't even in the building when they won the lottery. The Mavs had an off-site dinner at a famous Chicago steakhouse with the rest of the staff, and that's where you saw the video of Nico Harrison and the rest of the Mavs front office heartily celebrating tremendous fortune is still understating it. I mean, this is, it's a get out of jail card, the likes of which I'm not sure we've ever seen, because we've never really seen a trade like the Luka trade. Like I've heard people compare this to, well, when New Orleans, Anthony Davis asked for a trade and then the Pelicans won the lottery to get Zion, but Anthony Davis requested the trade. The Pelicans didn't want to trade Anthony Davis. And this was a scenario where the Mavericks willingly initiated the Luka Doncic trade, and then 3 months later, this draft lottery miracle happens for them. So it's a get out of jail card, the likes of which we have never seen in this league.
Enjoy your sweet freedom.
Yeah, and enjoy that get out of jail free card over there in Mavs Nation. Stein, we appreciate the time. Let's talk again soon, because we want to get more of your scoops, what you're hearing as far as NBA trades and free agency this offseason. Bulls Nation, subscribe to that Substack, the Stein Line, read his stuff. Tune in to DLLS Mavs if you want to be jealous and hate your lot in life as a Bulls fan. Mark, we appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. I'll be back with more next time, I promise.
My man.
All right, let's knock out a couple of ads. We'll come back. We'll dive back into some more combine interviews from right here in Chicago earlier this week. Hit the like button.
Do it for Katie hurt you. Empire today.
Floors.
No matter what. Oh my God. Just like your favorite team needs a home court advantage, your home team needs a home floor advantage.
Boom, boom.
And Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals whose focus is on flooring every single day. Now, we all been to those big box stores. Marc Stein sometimes has to go in there on the weekend. When he's, going through the draft stuff. He's like, I got to go do these errands, man. I got to run some errands. Let me hit the big box store. Let me get it up like that. Oh, cool. Oh, snap. You know what? Let me hit this floor section real quick because I do got questions about the floors that I want to put in my new home. Dude. He hears it. Creeping up behind you like them dudes back there in the window. Here comes Biff. Oh, no, that's it. Look at everybody. Hi, it's Biff right there. Oh, Biff, why are you lurking? Oh, don't get Biff, ladies and gentlemen. He ain't going to answer none of your questions. He's just going to lurk. That's all he does, man, and answer no questions. Don't get Biff. Stay at home. Use Empire Today. Empire Today lives and breathes flooring, and they will be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ball game. Pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house. Get precise measurements taken and have all your questions answered so there will be no surprises because with Empire Today, you get that clear upfront pricing, all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when using that promo code CHGO. Yes, you heard it right. A $350 discount with the code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. Funny 2, 300. Go!
Empire
Today. Today's show is brought to you by Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake is kicking off the summer with big Memorial Day savings all month long. Come in today to shop the Memorial Day sales event and drive home with 0% financing for 60 months. What? I can't even fast math how many years that is, but it's several years on select new Chevy models. Or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. Plus, Race Price Promise lets you shop confidently because the guarantee of no add-ons, no hidden fees, no gimmicks means the price you see is the price you pay 100% of the time. Asterisk, unless they find you even more savings, which Ray and his team will try to do for you every time you walk through their door. You don't have to worry about price changing, stressful negotiation, any tricks, none of that. The people at Ray Chevy just want to help you get into the right vehicle at the right price and get you on your merry way. So see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location right on Route 12 in Fox Lake. And don't miss out on the Memorial Day sales event going on all month long for 0% financing on select new Chevy models. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or RayChevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. Vroom, vroom. All right, guys.
Is he filming back here?
But I don't know what's going on. I think they're working on the roof. I hope they're.
I think he's just taking a break.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, I thought he had something in his hand.
I think because of the overhang of the roof, that's a shady spot.
Okay,
I think he's hiding in the shade.
I just thought he had something in his hand while he was back there.
Yeah, I mean he's on his
got
phone,
a phone,
but I don't think he's actually.
Yeah, he's not just creeping. Gentlemen, before we go to our last player of the day, who is Carter Bryant, and I'm excited to talk about him. Any thoughts on piggybacking from where we left off with Derik Queen? We've talked about Derik Queen a lot already.
Yeah.
Because he's been in that zone of like maybe this guy's on the board. Thoughts on anything he had to say, talking about playing the 4 or the 5, anything. I did think the stuff he said about playing with some of those other lottery talents as a high school guy. I didn't know that he was teammates with a lot of these guys who were also going in the lottery, projected to go in the lottery.
Yeah, that Montverde team had Liam McNeely, Asa Newell, Cooper, and Queen. So
I remember Cooper
incredibly talented. And I go back and forth on Queen. I do think he has more upside than a lot of these players. I am a fan of that archetype of player, offensively oriented, dribble, pass, shoot. Not so much shoot quite yet, but hopefully he develops that from the big spot. And I think that fits in with what the Bulls want out of their centers, right? The ability to make plays from the elbow, face up and score. He's a very good passer. and he moves pretty well. So I could see it. He's a little bit smaller than people were maybe hoping just based on the measurements. I think he was like 6'9" without shoes on. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but did have over a 7-foot wingspan. So maybe that helps you out there a little bit. I think he has more upside than a player who would fall to 12. Like I do think he'll be gone before then. To me, the perfect fit for him is Washington at 6. Yeah. He's from Baltimore. He's a perfect fit with Alex Sarr, who they drafted last year. They can complement each other and cover up for each other's weaknesses. So I just don't see him falling, but I am kind of intrigued by him as a boomer bust type of prospect.
Yeah, I like you say Washington, because the only thing I didn't like was him not knowing where he would fit as far as his position was concerned, when he was like maybe the 4 or the 5. But I think it's perfect, you know what I'm saying, in Washington, because then you'll know exactly, you know what I'm saying, where you're going to fit on that team. And it just adds to the young team that they're trying to build, you know what I'm saying, with high draft picks and things like that. So I think it's a good fit for him. But in general, I like Derik Queen. He's definitely one of those guys who was like, man, if you were like an inch taller, you would, man, dude, he would be just phenomenal. Like, he would be going like very early in the draft. I mean, his skill set is just really amazing. Love the fact, like you said, Matt, that he says he models his game after Jokic, because you could definitely see that when he's playing. And, you know, just the confidence, you know what I'm saying, that he plays with, man. Like, it's a quiet one, but it's also very loud at the same time, if that makes any sense. But yeah, man, I like him. I liked him when Goat pointed him out to me the first time, and I went and I just sat and I watched him a few times, and I was like, oh, I see it. I see how this dude can really have some serious upside and some serious game in him, man. And yeah, I think he fits well with a team that has something already established in the front court, so he knows exactly where he can fit in and where he can cheat.
The other thing, just last thing on him, and I've said this before, that I think there will be a lot of trades on draft night, because there's not an obvious solution anywhere between probably 5 to 14, 12, 14. This draft is wide open. So like maybe a Utah tries to trade up with San Antonio. They get their guy, Dylan Harper, who can be their point guard of the future. And maybe that's worth a lot of draft capital that maybe as part of a 3-team trade, getting the Spurs a star player to really complement Fox and Wembanyama. And then the Spurs move back to 5 and they're able to draft Queen there and get another guy. Like Queen with Wembanyama, Queen with Sarr. That's the kind of player I think he needs to play well, play next to in order to really reach his peak. Because to your point about like the positionality, I think in some senses not having a position is a good thing. In others, it just means you need other guys around you that help mitigate your weaknesses. And like that rim protector who can also space the floor is, I think, exactly what he needs. And why I'm a little cautious about him with the Bulls, because the Bulls just don't have that.
That's true. And they will be asking him to do those things.
Exactly.
All right, to round things out today, let us now hear from Carter Bryant, the freshman product from Arizona. I really liked a lot of what he had to say, and I have started paying attention to his stats and watching more of his tape recently. He is a name I am adding to my list of guys who I hope are there at 12. He was asked about, after naming some of his favorite NBA players, both of all time and modern, and then as a follow-up question, somebody asked him, like, I can't help but notice those are a lot of ball-handled primary guys. And as a freshman who had a sort of second-hand role, how do you translate as somebody who's probably coming into the NBA with not a lot of ball-handling experience and not being your role? I thought his answer was really insightful. Katie, if you will, cue up Mr. Carter Bryant.
I heard you mention a lot of guys who play with the ball in their hands a lot, and you didn't do that so much last year.
Not at all. I think I find myself as a guy, obviously, understanding the game of basketball, understanding the maturity of the NBA. A lot of guys, to stay on the floor, you have to be able to play without the ball. So I watch a lot of guys that play without the ball, but also understanding the point I want to be at, which is I want to be one of the best players, if not the best player in this league. You have to be able to play with the ball in your hands as well. So understanding the progression, watching my guys like Tamani Kamara, watching the Trey Murphys, and obviously he got a lot more ball touches this year. Watching guys like Drew Holiday, he has the ball in his hands a little bit, but watching him along with many other guys that cut off the ball and things of that nature. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, a lot of the guys that play off the ball. OG Anunoby, a lot of those guys have found a way in their role to be very productive without having the ball in their hands. But obviously, you don't want to limit yourself.
So I like the thing he said at the very end, which is, you never want to limit yourself of what you can do where compared to where your game is now, but also being very self-aware in that you have to find a way to be useful without the ball in your hands when you're coming into the NBA, unless you're, like, hey, rookie Luka, here's the ball. Go lead this team every night. Yeah, but, Carter Bryant had one of the lowest usage percentages of anybody projected to go in the first round of this 25 draft class, just 16.4%. And it might make Bulls fans a little queasy, a little uneasy to talk about taking at 12 a guy who, as a freshman, had a sort of minor role on a deep team like Arizona, because let's harken back to Patrick Williams.
Yeah.
Played a reserve role for Florida State. Bulls took him 4th overall. How's it worked out so far? Put a pin in that thought. Those of you watching on our various streaming services, that's going to do it here. If you want that bonus coverage of the rest of this convo, just head to allchgo.com.
We cuss.
But so, look, you think about that a lot with some of these other young prospects that the Bulls have collected. Mm-hmm. Finding ways to get on the court, finding ways for Billy Donovan to trust you to play real minutes in this rotation if you're not one of his primary ball handlers. And right now, as a guy who played just a freshman year and saw limited minutes, I like a lot of the skill set that, he is a prototypical 3-and-D player who shot 37% from 3 for Arizona this past year. And just physically, I like what he projects to be as a versatile, switchable defender in the NBA.
Yeah. Well, first of all, he was definitely on my all interview team from the combine. He was
very well spoken, young man.
Incredible interview, man. He's definitely sure of himself. And yeah, very crispy clean with the shirt as well. That was pointed out by a few media members to me that how clean he was. But a defensive guy. And again, when you can do defense, you can get on the floor. And the way he attacks is just really impressive because he's also a solid shot blocker. He's also a pretty good rebounder as well. But like you said, Matt, just having that shot as well, it's just a little extra, you know what I'm saying? A little mint on the pillow. You know what I mean? You can do that too? Oh man, well, this will get you an extra 5 minutes on the floor because you can get that going as well. It's not just one side of the basketball for you. So again, it's about fit, you know what I'm saying, with him. Like you were just talking about Derik Queen being with in Washington. It'll be about fit with him. Obviously, he can't be the guy that's handling the ball or bringing it up or doing anything like that. But can he swing the basketball? Can he continue to rotate? You know what I'm saying? Can he set those hard screens that guys are going to need? Can he crash the boards? You're looking for those little tiny things that he can do. Because I'm telling you, man, defensively, I think he has that thing about him that I just really kind of like in my basketball players, man. And he would fit in because the Bulls definitely need more goons and dogs, you know what I'm saying, on their squad. And he, for me, fits that kind of mold, which is why I like him.
Yeah, he's very much to me like the prototypical wing in a lab that you just build for the NBA. 6'6.5" barefoot, so 6'7", 6'7.5", 6'8" in shoes. 6'11" and 3/4 wingspan, so long arms. He also had a 39.5-inch vertical. So he's a leaper. He's long. He's just mobile. And the tape shows that he's a very good defensive player. The questions that you have about him are the usage was really low. He had 36 assists in 37 games and 37 turnovers. So he didn't do much with the ball in his hands. I know he wants to do that, and every young player does.
Sure.
But to me, you're drafting him to be a high-level role player and hoping that he can get to that point. And if he can, that's a really valuable piece to have. A 6'7" wing who can, shoot the ball and defend at a really high level and is a real athlete. That's fantastic. And then if he grows into anything more, even better. That's just all extra upside because what you're going to ask him to do is something that he can do at a high level, and it's really important. So you could see him being the kind of gap between Giddey, Kobe, Modest as the 3 of the future. And maybe he can develop into more of that, just in terms of creating with the ball in his hands. I do have questions about that. The usage being as low as it was, only starting 5 games, not playing very many minutes, not getting a ton of shots up. I don't know how to factor that in. But yeah, I was impressed by his ability to navigate the media and just the way he talked to people that are twice his age. These guys are so young. It's crazy. But yeah, I think he's going to be a player, and I think he'll be in that range of 10 to 14 where the Bulls are drafting.
You know what I also like him is he answers questions that you might have 2 or 3 players that on your team that you like, oh, he can do this, he can do this, he can do that. And then you bring him in and he does all of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he can free up stuff on your team. Like, oh, bye, goodbye. You can trade some certain people once you get him in because he can do all of those things. And being a wing, it makes it awesome.
And the thing that I like about what he projects to be, and I think you're right, Will. Like, I don't think we're talking about like star potential ceiling here with this guy, but like a good 3-and-D player,
like really good.
There's evidence already of his basketball IQ being very high because one of the things that several different people among scouts and people deep diving on all these prospects say is that his off-ball awareness on both ends of the floor is elite for somebody as young and raw as he is. He is a smart cutter off ball offensively, and you just heard him talking about how to make yourself useful without the ball in your hands. But he's also a really strong off ball defender, which when you think about some of these other pieces of young players with experience that AK's just gung-ho building with, where can they be helped on the defensive end? Help defense from off-ball defenders. Parentheses, Alex Caruso. Parentheses, Lonzo Ball. If he can fit into that criteria to help this questionable Bulls perimeter defense right now, that is another thing that puts a check next to his name for me as a Bulls fan. I'm like, what does this team need right now? It needs high IQ players, especially ones that can help you on both ends of the floor without being a primary guy.
Yeah, puts a check next to him and puts a shipping label on some other players. Like,
yes, exactly. That's going to pretty much do it for today. I saw somebody in the comments just talking about Rocco. Don't you worry.
All right, Rocco.
We're going to drop our final Combine interviews episode tomorrow. We're actually about to record it right now after this one because we got some scheduling stuff going on tomorrow. But so tomorrow we're going to focus on a couple of like Bulls fan favorite names that we haven't talked about a lot yet. Will Riley and Yakachonis, the Illini duo, who we heard from both earlier this week at Combine. We're going to talk about the big man from Australia, Rocco Zikarsky, projected second round. The Bulls do have a second rounder.
What?
Yeah. I know, crazy. And then also somebody that you were excited to talk to for a bit yesterday, Dave, Rasheer Fleming.
Rasheer Fleming, yes.
Another name that is gaining some steam among Bulls fans on social media right now. And I really like a lot of what I have seen and heard of Fleming so far as well. So that's on deck for tomorrow's show. Before we get out of here, Katie, what were the results on that poll you put up? I was very curious. The most refreshing non-alcoholic drink on a hot summer day.
The winner was lemonade by a... Water wasn't on there. That's boring.
Water was not one of the options.
Lemonade was
How dare you, says Dave.
The winner by a large margin, 62%.
I would assume so. I also cast my vote for lemonade. The other options were milkshake, soda, and... Icy. And
like it's like a snow cone.
Oh, icy. Like a 7-Eleven, like slushy icy.
Like a slushy. Slushy was second with 16%. Then a milkshake, and then soda was last.
Drink your water,
Drink your water,
kind of
psychopath.
Water is an all-year-round beverage.
Water, you say it for the summer when it's hot?
Who's drinking milkshakes in the summertime?
You come out the
I
desert.
don't know. Not me. I just put it out there.
You come out the desert, you're asking for water.
Drink your water.
Drink your water, people.
What about just like a light beer? That's basically water.
Basically. Yeah. You say that all the time. Like, Matt, drink some water. I'm drinking a light beer, Dave. It's in there. Water in there. Lemonade is too, right?
Yeah. Lemonade got my vote. I love a good lemonade.
Yeah, I'm not dissing lemonade.
On a hot day. It's the best.
Ice cold glass of lemonade is awesome. But it's not like that H2O.
Gatorade.
You're just drinking the wrong water.
Follow Will to Go Gottlieb on Twitter, Will_Gottlieb. Read his draft guide and everything else he's been writing about the draft and the lottery and the combine this week. AllCHGO.com. Sign up to become a diehard so you can get access to that diehard draft guide. There is so much good intel and analysis in there, y'all. Like, hey, yeah, the Ringers mock draft stuff is cool and they're informative. It's like, man,
there's no qual.
Goats is better, honestly.
No
check it out. Become a diehard. Read it. Follow Big Dave Bow. Be at WL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO Bulls. Shout out to our guy Marc Stein for joining us on today's show. Shout out to Katie Dovey, the queen of the controls.
Katie Lemonade.
We will have that episode for y'all tomorrow. Going to be dropping at 4 p.m. Central Time per usual. So talk to you then. See you. Be good.
I thought of another joke I'm going to tell Katie that I'm not going to say here. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.